Hello everyone, I am Matthew Thomas, back with another featured artist of the week from right here in South Bend, Indiana. They are Praise the Fallen. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight.
No problem, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matt.
So we got Jamie Bostel, he is the lead vocals and guitar. We got Andy, lead guitarist. We got Steven on bass, and Kenny on the drums. I kind of want to start even before Praise the Fallen. When did you guys know you wanted to be a musician and part of a band?
Wow, I've been playing music since I was 8. So after high school, what else are you gonna do, man? I mean, if you're into music the whole time, I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school. I just continued on, basically. You know, I just knew at 8 years old I liked playing music. It felt good. It started, for me, it was an escape as well, too.
I guess my story isn't so inspiring. I got really, really good at Guitar Hero and unlocked an achievement when you get 5 stars on every song on Expert that says start your own band already, so I got a guitar. I guess I mean, I've always listened to music, but like that's how I started playing guitar, which is kind of embarrassing.
No, that's
a video game.
Yeah, video game, I guess, started.
Not really, I mean...
No.
What about you, Kenny?
When I was real little, there were always drums in my house because my father played drums in a pretty successful cover band in northern Michigan when I was young. So I was exposed to them at a young age. I was obsessed with it. Ironically, however, in school I always sang in choir. I never played in school band because I never wanted to be a percussionist. I always wanted to be a drummer. And I've been obsessed with it my whole life.
Me, I don't know. I was like 18, 19, didn't know anything. Picked up a bass and just dove head first into it. And here I am. I like playing on the stage and being,
Yeah.
spreading the music
Rocking it out.
with my sock out.
Alright, and I know I got Jamie's perspective on the current lineup through different interviews that I've done with him, but I kind of want to get your guys' take on it. How did the current lineup come together for you guys?
Yeah, so I just moved to the area and just like living in a tiny apartment with nothing to do but work and lift weights, and then not that I do that very often, and play guitar. And I got bored of playing by myself, and so I went on Facebook, looked for smoking jams, and went to a couple and met Jamie there. And Jamie was like, "Hey, do you want to, audition for my band?" So I was like, "Sure." And then I auditioned for the band and learned the songs, and then was in the band. And, at that time too, that'll kind of segue into
Finding Kenny.
in Finding Kenny. I think Steven should probably go next, and then Kenny can sort of tell his
We got
story.
Andy, and we were going. We had one drummer, and then we were just looking for.
Clem.
No, we had Johnny when we had.
Oh, Johnny, yeah.
Johnny was still there when we found, and Andy, and I don't know, we cycled, I don't know, we probably tried 10, 15 different people. Then we finally quit getting on the same Facebook, the same circles of people, and we got on the band mix, and actually Andy did that, and got to use the registration, all that stuff, and then we found Kenny on there, and we interviewed a few different people on there before we found him.
Yeah, we did.
It wasn't like the first hit, but within like 5 people, we found Mr. Kenny.
I auditioned a few people, and some people...
We auditioned a lot
Some
of
people, some people didn't even make the audition. They didn't even get to that point. You know what I mean?
Some people didn't get an audition and showed up at your house anyways.
That happened too. We had
just wanted to meet
we had
you.
one guy. We had one guy show up. I had a guy here for an audition that was with us. That was the guy who got mad. Remember, I won't say his name. Remember, he got mad because we didn't pick him. Well, he wasn't very good. Anyway, but while we were auditioning him, another guy shows up, and he shows up on my porch, and I was like, "Who are you?" He goes, "Well, I talked to you on the phone," and I was like, "Well, yeah, I told you I'd let you know when I was ready to audition you." And I'm like, then it hit me. I was like, "Did you find my address, man? Because I never gave you my address." He goes, "Well, it's in the phone book." And I thought, wait a minute, phone book? Phone book don't... I haven't seen a phone book in years.
It's still around.
Kind of weird, you know.
There's about
So I
6
told him,
of them.
I think you guys
In the
were here.
whole world.
Yeah.
Maybe just before you got here, I said, you need to get off my property, man, and get out of here.
He was like, "You still going to bed at 9 o'clock? Did you like that movie last night?"
Right, dude. What's your blood type? You know, it was strange, man. I was like, you
Jimmy
know,
woke up without with one kidney the next day.
I had one guy
They
hit
mailed
me
it
up.
back to him, though.
Oh, sorry.
I had one guy, I don't know if I told you guys this, I had one guy hit me up that wanted to try out for the band that lived in Nashville.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, you live in Nashville, how are you going to make rehearsals? He was
Flying
like,
every day?
well, I have to come out like once a month, but man, I really like you guys' music. I was like, you're in Nashville, man. It's
like, thank you, but
I'm like, right, we need someone who's going to be here every week. Yeah, I had
So-
a few people like that.
cut
It's
to
crazy.
Jamie losing a kidney. People stalking him through the band mix page. We found Kenny, which I guess Kenny, you can give your perspective.
Oh, what about the guy? What about the guy we had was going to audition who couldn't make it because he went to jail because he stabbed his girlfriend?
Oh yeah,
What?
it's hard to find a drummer, and thank God we found Kenny because he is the.
You haven't stabbed anyone, have you?
Yeah,
Ken?
I won't give any.
Okay, good,
He's gonna
good.
admit
I won't
to
give
it.
any names.
No,
but,
I had the advantage that guys like Steven and I have, drummers, bass players, is there's less of us.
Yes.
So it's never hard
Less
or difficult.
reliable.
At least in my experience, it's never been difficult to find a band. It's been difficult to find the right band. I played in numerous cover bands, and I enjoyed it. I don't mean to disrespect it or sound like I'm disrespecting it, but I always enjoyed it. When Andy reached out to me on Band Mix, and I found out that the first step toward possibly joining this band was to meet for an interview, that's what perked my interest, because I knew right away, all right, these guys are taking this seriously. You know, although you try to have fun, I want to sound good. I want to get on stage and show off all the time you've been practicing and rehearsing and writing and songcraft. So knowing these guys took that shit seriously, it perked my interest right away. I auditioned a month later. I think I picked up
Played the show
most
up
of
a
making
month
it
after.
known, and the rest, as they say, is history.
You're a tight knit group, you know. Praise the Fallen. So how does it feel to be in this band with this current lineup?
Right. Feels right. No,
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, we're like brothers, man.
Yeah.
Finally, you know, we were looking for this the whole time. Steven and I have been,
me and
and
him been together
We've been in the
5 years.
yeah, we've been in 5 years, and we've been through quite a few people that we thought we had a brotherhood with some of them, but you know, really, I mean, stuff, just little stuff like
No, let's just sum that up to creative differences.
it's
That's the easiest way to put it.
it's that.
Be nice and
How does it feel? Any band has their grievances, their disagreements, and everything like that, but that all falls apart when we're on stage playing together. And I think the chemistry, you can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it.
I think people are
So-
getting into us because they see we're having fun together, but we also make it a point. I think it's great, and I love this. Like just this past Saturday, we hung out and watched the UFC fights, and we had a cookout, and we just hung out. You know, we didn't even play. You know, some bands they just practice and play shows,
Right.
and
strictly business.
I didn't want that. I wanted, you know. Even with the other guys, I was always trying people. Let's hang out. It's a brotherhood. I always said, you know, the best bands work if everybody is friends, man. It's just, you know, I was in a band like that. I won't say the band's name, but they told me that we could be in a band together but not be friends, and I was like, no, sorry, I can't. I just can't do that.
Right.
You know, this matters to me.
I mean,
know?
I think if you're playing in Dream Theater, I would be like, okay, we don't have to be friends, but like I'll definitely
Right, you're
still play
paying
in
me
Dream
to play.
Theater.
I'll show up.
Yeah, but no, absolutely.
The
That's
band
what I-
is the dysfunctional family that you choose.
Well,
Yes.
the more you get to know each other, and the more you learn about each other, musically and otherwise, I think the better the chemistry gets. You can read each other better.
Yeah.
You know, we've been on stage where somebody's having a technical issue, and whenever that's happening, and the audience is getting antsy or whatever,
Turns into
a lot
fun.
of times I'll
Yeah.
just start playing some kind of a beat,
Beat,
and
we'll
wait
jam
for
it
somebody to
and-
jump on, just to do something.
break the radio
Entertainment.
silence.
To
Yeah.
relax everybody while we saw. I mean, your bands have a lot of moving parts, a lot of toys, a lot of electronics. Something's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I got married at Kenny's house.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, so
You know?
we're all, how does it feel?
You know?
It feels good. We're all homies.
Yeah, I saw you guys at Rock the Pantry in June, and you guys, I can tell you guys said it was a lot of fun, and it was just a killer show. You guys nailed it. I mean, you busted out some Eddie Van Halen, which
Thank
is
you.
very. I was amazed by that. I was very amazed.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a funny story actually, because a band, we were supposed to be direct. This was when we were going through our drummer issues before we had Kenny. And we were supposed to be direct support for another band, and they were like, well, you guys have a new drummer, so we're going to bump you down to first opener. So I was like, all right. I was like, well, I wonder if I can learn Eruption and then play it. So I learned it in a week and played it, and I kind of just wanted to be like, hey, like, if we're on stage, we will bring a good show, regardless of what the band is going through. Like, we perform. So that's how that started. And thank you, obviously, for recognizing that.
Yeah, I started hearing. I was like, man, that sounds like Eruption, and then you just absolutely just nailed it. Like my brother, who he's into music, like he knows Van Halen, but he's not like as into music as me. But like he even knew like that. He was very amazed by that.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. You know, it's like taking a guitar solo where nobody else is playing is one thing, but nothing sounds good without everyone else. You know what I mean? And like that's one of the reasons I love this band is because if I just sat up on stage and played guitar solos all day, nobody would give a shit, right? But like if you remove one of these pieces, we are not anywhere near as good. And like that's one of the reasons I love this band is because we all complement each other so well.
We have amazing live chemistry too. Just, like that was the show you.
There was one show he did a backflip or something. He was off the stage and then like rolled back. I mean, he does crazy shit.
Well, wireless, I venture out a little bit, and I don't. That's what I like about it is I said a long time ago, if we start doing a Kiss choreographed, blah blah blah, you can count me out because I try to feel that. Now everybody has the same head nod in the same spot, but you still you work with what you're feeling.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a little ZZ Top.
And
like,
people come to see people come to see a show.
Yeah,
If they wanted to hear you, they just buy your CD or download your stuff.
I want to see you perform.
Yeah, that's what they're there
We're
for.
live entertainment.
We're entertainers.
Right,
I think
right.
Cobain said it.
Yet we're entertainers.
Yeah, we're entertainers. We're not doing much acting. It's kind of, I think,
Yeah,
all
we're
of
not
us.
acting like
I know what you mean, but if we're all like, we're all in the element.
We're all
you
playing
know?
from our heart. I think that's part of what makes us such a good.
I've had like pictures, like people that take pictures and show me. I'm like eyeballs in one direction, look like a chameleon. They're both pointing different directions, mouth open, I'm like, don't post that. But at the same time, it's like when you're playing with like passion, you don't. Like passion and pretty aren't in the same sentence when you're a musician.
Some picture
It came about like
for yourself.
there's some videos of
I mean, Kenny's gorgeous all the time.
Well, he's behind the drum set too. I mean,
yes, exactly.
He's got a pretty drum set.
The biggest reason I'm doing with him playing a solo when we play a short set like that is it gives me a minute to take a drink of water and remember where I'm at.
Yeah, I think.
If you watched us perform, there's not a lot of
We're gonna get you a helmet.
yeah.
We keep the energy up.
Yeah, like you guys, like you don't really stop.
Well, that's what
It goes full.
That's what the owner of Smokestack said. He said he liked. He says we know how to put on a show. And I
We
was
had
like,
extreme
he goes,
technical difficulties at the beginning of that. We still.
But like that's cool because like Kenny was saying, he'll lay a beat down. Somebody's fixing something. It's happened to me too, where like I like unplugged my effect loop. My whole amp. I thought my amp was broken. So like these guys just kept right on playing and jamming, and I'm all right, cool. You know what I mean? That's
what you do.
That was one thing I was taught.
You can't show.
you can't be like, hold on a
You
second.
never stop playing.
I've seen that.
No matter
I've
what.
seen bands
I mean,
do that.
short of a fire. But
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been
It
outside
can
of
kill.
shows
It
and had
can
stuff.
kill the vibe if you do something like that.
And
never
like
stop
it can
playing.
be funny if you're playing a stadium show and you're Slayer and you're like, whoops, I unplugged my amp.
Right.
That can be funny, right? But like,
But there again, people come to see live stuff like that. You know how many versions of Metallica's like
right, Seek and Destroy.
Seek
or
and Destroy,
whatever.
how many different speeds they are, and
Yeah.
you know, it's people come to see that, and people drop picks and rip chords out and break strings, and that's part of going to see a live.
It's not
rock
pretty
and
all the
roll.
time.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
That's what I said. Passion ain't pretty.
You know, I've
That
seen
would be the next
bands that
album.
were flawless.
Passion ain't
and
pretty.
it's kinda
That's
boring.
a good album, man.
You know.
Yeah,
Hey, next album name, EP, Passion Ain't Pretty.
I like it. I like it.
Come on, again by the bass player. Yes,
I like it.
I like it.
All right. Well, since we're talking about live music,
That's good
Sure.
shit.
I want. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Jamie would know this answer. I saw it was in 2016. You guys put out a live album. Is that correct?
Yeah. And there's a story behind that. We were having issues with we were recording Scars at the time. Or no, that was after we went and recorded the first album. We laid down the beats at Tony's brother's house.
We did record Scars though, because Scars was on that.
No, well, it is, but I'm talking about people wanted music. We had Scars already out, and they wanted more music, and we had gone to a studio already and laid down the tracks, and then the drum tracks and the bass tracks, and then as we started putting everything else on, we figured out it would not work. Like he was trying to make us, I'll make you sound like Judas Priest, and it's like that's not what we're going for. So we had to back out of that, and essentially we spent almost we got delayed like 3 or 4 months in putting our album out.
Yeah.
And that's why that live version we opened for Devour the Day at Cheers, and yet it was packed asses to elbows. I mean, we had to crowd surf our equipment out.
That's awesome.
And he live recorded that off of the board. And it is not the best quality in the world.
I did notice that, yeah.
But there's a lot of good things about it. And we sold them for $5 a piece. People were wanting music by us, and
people bought it.
Yeah,
we sold them.
Throwing them like frisbees.
So I got an interesting. Would you guys do another live album? If so, like,
yes.
Would you have a venue in mind, like where to do it?
Hobart Art Theater.
Yeah, we have to.
Oh my God, the sound there is.
We would have to
no offense to any of the venues or anybody who listens to this, but so they got 4 double bin 18s under the stage, which is a tremendous amount of low end reinforcement, which Kenny's drums and Steven sound fucking. I don't know if I can.
Go for it.
Fucking incredible through, and then they have a small. It's not a line array; it's more of a point source system. They have that above the stage, but then they also have surround sound throughout the length of the theater. So no matter where you're at as a listener in that theater, pretty much the whole theater is the acoustic sweet spot. So the sound is present and impactful everywhere.
Oh, and by the way, this guy's a frequency nerd. Like, he knows all of it.
You're just throwing out some terms.
I'm sorry, I'm a big sound. I mean, if we were going to record, I think, a live thing, it would...
And the coolest thing is that's not the biggest place in the world. No. Like, it's half the size of like the State Theater.
I love that venue.
Narrow and long.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And the stage is about 3 foot off the ground.
So would you guys do another live album?
Oh yeah.
Not opposed to it.
We actually have a headlining show there.
It got COVID.
You're telling me,
Yeah, that was our album release party, but it got corona'd and.
Yeah, that was our first headlining show with tickets with our name on it. Bands opening for us.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice.
That show will happen.
This summer was probably the best summer.
Oh, we had a lot of shows.
Yeah,
we had festivals lined up this year.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
This fucking virus, man.
Damn,
a lot of stuff.
It ruined these festivals for us.
But there are other positives to that, because we can then, with all the festivals and shows, we're focusing externally, and now we've been able to shift that focus to internally in writing. I think come out in 2021, we're gonna have a shit ton of new music, and it's gonna be dialed.
And
it's gonna be dialed.
And I'm pulling off guitar on some of this stuff. So the stage show is going to get even better.
Yeah, Jamie's got a set of 10-foot stilts that he's going to get on. And he's gonna pull out the theatrics. Like bottle rockets on stage.
I just stand on your fucking table.
Like Ringling Brothers?
Right.
We got like a chest harness and some pulleys and cables. He's going to fly around and all that.
Yeah.
Like Peter Pan?
Yeah.
No.
Well, more like, I think
happy thoughts.
A flying dragon.
Probably should have told you.
Less like Peter Pan.
No, that's part of the fun.
But yeah, it'll be cool, because I think, Jamie doesn't get a chance to move around because he's tethered to a guitar and a microphone.
Yeah,
really.
The microphone and the pedals and the.
And you don't want to look like
Even with the wireless, you got
Chuck E. Cheese or something wearing a headset and singing and.
I'm still going to be doing that because there's stuff. What's going on now with the band is Andy's writing more.
We're all writing.
We were all very, Steven. I mean, we went through a lot of people, so we never. I mean, I kept writing the stuff.
Right.
People wanted to come and go. That's fine. You still got me. I'll just keep pumping stuff out. But now that I trust that we have the lineup, everybody's free to write now, man. I don't have to write everything, And I didn't have to write everything then, but if people were going to come and go, and I was the only one left, and I had to.
It's like,
We were the only ones left.
Right, the pressure was on Steven and me to write because
Right.
there was a time when we were a 3-piece.
and
so,
it's like you gotta. Okay, we have 4 songs written.
I mean, that's
Steven
where,
and I
that's where
do.
control came from, was me.
But now we've got to train somebody on 20 other songs, and that's, that I think to some degree.
it got old. Ask Steven.
I love our songs, but yeah, when you gotta start the same song 15 times, and the dude keeps
We
messing
played a
up.
lot of these
You know what I
songs
mean?
for the
It's-
last 4 years.
Kills
the
it
same
more, though.
songs.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it made me that much better in my album. You know what I mean? Playing our music,
Yeah.
I mean, we're that much why we can literally play back to back, not looking at anything, and
Right.
kill it.
Yeah.
All right, so Praise the Fallen. You guys just put out. I believe it was the first time the physical copy for Emotions and Gear was the June 20th show.
That's correct.
Put that out,
Yeah.
and but you're not signed to a record label. You're an independent band. Like, what are some of the challenges and advantages of being an independent band?
Well,
We own everything. Nobody can hold our own music above our heads.
do shit at our own pace.
And we kind of do. We have our own record label. It's called Smash Tone Records.
but
We don't own money through a label. We don't owe
Right.
anybody
And all,
anything.
I mean,
Right,
all they
yeah.
do. I mean, nowadays, it's not like 1970 where you're going to get signed and go. They're going to buy you a tour bus and you're going to go do drugs around the country. That's like it's not the
Yeah.
rock and roll scene.
you're just gonna do drugs here.
in the back of the car, but still, it's not the same.
I know why you
I know what you
The
mean. I know
measures of
what
success
you
are
mean.
different now, and just
Different dynamic.
people, yeah, unless Sony's knocking on our door or somebody big, there's no reason. Like
You don't-
we've had people at Pavement, and we've had people come to us, but like
Sure.
they want they want to own half of us forever,
They want half your music. They
been-
want half
there's
your
been,
merch. They want.
and you got to
know.
pay $5,000.
In
It's
the
like
last-
so you want
in
to
the
pay to
last
sell your
calendar
soul.
year,
Payment's trying to sign a lot of people. I've noticed.
There's
Yeah.
been 2
Yeah.
or 3 bands
Yeah.
in the last calendar year that have had the #1 song on the mainstream rock chart, and they're unsigned bands.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that just
Yeah.
it goes to with the technology that's out there and how accessible like every single person with a cell phone is to music. You do not need
I mean-
this label stamp.
We've been played in
On your
27
band.
countries without a label.
Right. So like it's
Have you think
Yeah.
about it that
no,
way?
if a label approached us and was like, "Hey, you guys kick ass. We want to, fund your recording, and
Bands-
you get a free Schecter. You get yeah, okay. Let's talk."
Bands need to focus more on their numbers, and if you really want a label will come to you
Yeah.
by your numbers. So if your numbers are low, they're not going to even know who you are. So
They're gonna
that's
fall
one
off.
of our-
Comes down to a spot to be.
one of our goals is we're striving towards getting our numbers up more, and by the way you do that is by putting out good music, put out a music video. You got to have strong songs that the whole world wants to sing along to. That's my whole
Oh, we were
attitude.
talking about dancing with the social media numbers train.
Well, everything.
That's all.
It's
Yeah, but I mean,
listeners,
that's
That's
really where it's at now.
numbers.
Is
Now.
getting, because
The way
you
it
get
is
people,
now.
you get bands that I mean, you know what I mean. You're like, you haven't heard of these guys, but they got
Well, we
all
know.
these views, and it's because they're
Steven-
playing the social media game.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
and I know
They're
bands
hustling
out
on
there that
that
are
end.
touring, and I've met bands myself. I'm not going to tell you what band it was, but I remember meeting a band at Cheers saying, "So how's it?" I ask questions when I meet these bands and they're on tour. I'll ask them, "So how's it going? How's it going out there? Is your
Like,
label taking care
We're
of
broke as
you?"
Right.
Most of them tell me, "Man, I can barely pay my cell phone bill." You
Right.
know, I don't know about you, but I like my life. I like my home. I like my dogs. I like my yard. I like my friends. Why give all that up to
we gotta-
struggle like
I
that?
think you like your cell phone
I
too.
mean,
and
yeah,
We
and
like-
you gotta
we
have
like
a phone.
when we got
No, but the way you measure success these days, I don't know. I look at us as like we've opened for nationals. We all have jobs. We work during the week. We play shows on the weekends. We're willing. You're looking at 4 guys that are willing to go to Nashville, to Wisconsin, as long as we're back at work on Monday. How do you measure success these days? Get on as many big shows as you can, put out records, and have fun, man.
have fucking
That's
fun,
all
dude.
That's all
Have
you can
fun.
do.
Have fun.
I've talked to rock stars that were actually signed at one time, and they told me, when you're focused on it, you're thinking about it so much, it doesn't happen. When you're having fun and you just focus on having fun, that's when shit starts happening.
Right.
Well, there's so many different levels of success musically now. Not just getting signed and touring and
Right.
your album hitting the charts. You could be in video games, on commercials, and,
Right.
and music, and it's not that hard. It's not quite as hard as it would have been 20 years
there's
ago to get.
multiple
Right.
angles in the
Right.
business, you know. There's like right now with the COVID thing, the best thing any band could do or any musician is start recording and put music online.
Yeah.
You know, start putting your music out there.
high
Good
quality.
question.
Pay
Good
for
question.
pay for ads and get that stuff out there. You have to pay for ads to get if you want to stretch beyond just your area.
Yeah.
Facebook.
You gotta put the shake weight ad before
example.
your music video.
No, you do.
I know.
No.
Thing.
You can pick that day and go, okay, I want people in LA to see our stuff. You pick,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you can even pick what age group. I mean, it is not like it used to be where you just venture out, go on stage, and hope someone sees you. You know,
Yeah, you gotta make it happen.
you got
Well,
to
yeah.
put a lot more work into it to get the numbers up and
Yeah.
get the numbers of
Well,
people
but-
to come out.
I think the key for us is fun and passion. You know what I mean? And that's like, you know, if something happens, it'll happen. But right now, I think all of us take just the most satisfaction in like putting out music that we're happy with and we're proud of. And then like by that nature, people can tell. You know what I mean? I think that's why people are drawn to our live performances is because we're all mouth open, drooling, looking in different directions.
We're
and people are
having
like, those
fun.
guys are having fun. You
They
know?
see that we're having fun and
Yeah.
it's infectious to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it makes them literally when we put our hearts on the strings and on the skins, as Kenny would do. They feel that. They literally feel, you can't not feel it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah, no, I always ask that question to most independent bands because I think independent music is better than a lot of the mainstream stuff. It's unique, it's different. There's actually quality in it, and I think it's just better. Like, because after a while you listen to like so many bands, like the mainstream bands. Like, man, that song sounds like that song.
Well, the production
Yeah.
is all. I'm like 100% convinced that there's like 5 producers
In Hollywood.
in
And that's all they
Hollywood,
do.
and it runs
Yeah.
through them,
And then they
and everything
switch.
is pitched. There's nothing like wrong. Like if you listen to an old Black Sabbath record,
Oh yeah,
you're like, dude, okay, that was a wrong note, and like that, it's like amp is fuzzing up, and like that's awesome. That's
Nirvana,
raw.
he sliced his
That's
up.
rock and roll, man.
Yes.
Wasn't
Nirvana.
Wasn't it
Nirvana.
that he sliced his
They weren't
speakers with-
perfect.
Yeah,
Just
like,
literally
They
Yeah,
weren't
set the
perfect. It was
speakers.
about the art, and that's what
Right.
made them shine.
Yeah.
It's like capturing lightning in a bottle. I mean, honestly.
I mean,
That's why
people said,
recording
you know,
is
people
the
said
hardest
Kurt
part.
Probably
Cobain
might
is
be
sloppiest
twice.
guitar player, you know. I'm not that great at guitar, and we're making
Yeah.
records, man. You know, if I can be an example
It
myself.
infuriates me when you
Passionate
say that
for it,
you're
yeah.
not that great at guitar every time
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
it because you are, but like you're not like a
Yeah, I
kind
can't
of
do
guitar
that.
player, but
You
like
play
you still
different.
write
I wanna
good
be able to do
riffs.
that.
And
You're
you still
solid. I've seen you live. You're solid.
You still write good riffs. You play
Yeah.
solos. You play leads. Like I'm sick of
I
hearing that.
remember when
Yeah, I might have to edit that part out
I
now.
remember when you transitioned from front man to just starting to
What's
play.
that?
I remember seeing you at Cheers on stage.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it was like 5, 6. It'd be 6 or 7 years ago now, at least,
Yeah.
if not longer. 8 maybe.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, you did good on acoustic, but when you put an electric guitar in your hand, you were. Kind of like I would be if you put an electric guitar
Really
in my hand on
stiff.
stage.
Yeah.
But no,
Scared.
it's different. It's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah, it
and
is.
it took like me and him have grown together like
But
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, and so emotions.
Kenny
and
needs to answer the next
Oh.
one.
Well, all right. So
around.
you just released a physical copy of Emotions and Gear. How was it writing and recording that album? Because like that is a killer EP. Like I
Oh,
listened
thank
to it, like when he gave it to me, I listened on my way home,
Thank you.
and I was, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's
Oh, yeah,
flattering.
that's like the first review I think we've had of that.
It is.
Yeah, I still got to send some stations and stuff.
I mean, if actually they
Other than my girlfriend.
literally got
Yeah.
it to 20th,
I'm
we really
sure
haven't been anywhere else.
All of our
Just-
respective significant others, their reviews have been, I've heard this song before.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, okay, I know this one.
So I got a question for
Like,
you
you hear
now.
this
Go
song?
for it.
What was your
No,
favorite
I've heard
song
no.
of the album?
I've heard enough tonight.
Or it's not an album, it's an
The
EP.
EP.
What was your question again? Oh, the recording and writing
Yes,
process,
well-
right, Kenny?
Well, this being my first original music band in 20 years, 25 years of playing drums, it's been a hell of a ride. These guys there's a creative itch I never knew I had, and I don't, as a drummer, I don't show up at rehearsal like, hey, check out this whole song I wrote, you guys, because it just doesn't. The instrument doesn't lend itself to that. But what I've learned though is when these guys are throwing ideas on the table, I get to be the guy that basically sets the tone for the song. And none of these three have ever gotten in my wheelhouse about that, which either means they like the tone I set for the song, or we were already thinking the same thing, right. Both of which are good things. And it's been to get to experience playing a song that you helped songcraft in front of people and seeing them sing along to it. Janie has done this before, Steven too, even maybe Andy, but that's a feeling that I've never felt before, and it's a ride. I love every second, and I love being a part of the process. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I saw a cool post someone put out. I hope Kenny doesn't take offense to this. It said, this pandemic better end soon because the drummer's going to think he can write a song now.
No, what we do with all of our acoustic guitars is where we store dried meats and cheeses for Kenny if he does a good job.
Yeah.
Like little biscuits.
Yeah, in the apple, that's where we keep our meats and cheeses for Kenny.
I keep mine in the clone hole on the wall.
It's like Ratatouille, and then we come.
You're just full of good references, man. I haven't heard.
Since my girlfriend started paying for Disney Plus, my life has just been children's movies, so maybe that's where it's coming from.
I haven't heard anyone bust out that reference in a long time.
Good film, go see it.
He's a film reference machine.
Yeah, that's like one of my useless talents.
You know, one thing that I want to point out, because I want to get it in an interview, because I get a kick out of this every time I hear it. But playing in an all-original band that quite often books shows where we are playing in, I don't know what you want to call it, like a showcase or where there's 3 or 4 bands, each playing for an hour the same night, the same venue. You have to be a NASCAR pit crew in terms of taking the stage and leaving the stage.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Andy, unfortunately, or fortunately, is not the only nerd in this band. I spend my days as a civil engineer and a land surveyor, so I played a couple shows like that where I was lugging my 9-piece drum kit in and out, taking forever. And then I got a friend that works in metal, and so I talked to him and drew a thing up and designed my own rolling platform on which my drum kit is attached.
It's a riser.
Yeah.
When we play, it's its own riser.
It's a 2-piece.
Yeah, I saw it at the show, man.
So we can save time, and I've had every national band that we've opened for.
Yeah.
I've had their sound guys and stuff asking me where I got that thing, and
It's all mic'd, by the way.
Yeah.
All his drums.
it's all ready to go.
He forgot to tell you that the first one was fucking 2x4s.
Oh yeah, the first one was made out of wood.
Like that motherfucker was so heavy.
Every design process has to be refined.
Yeah, but there was
he cut about 100 pounds off.
This is the great thing though, because the band appearance is like, even on the national shows where you're playing in front of their kit and they're not going to offload. Our drummer has a drum riser, so it's already
even when you're playing
he's
on
not
the floor.
sitting behind somebody. And then the certain shows where there's already a drum riser, Kenny's just 9 feet in the air, and that also looks cool.
It's really funny because everybody, even Jamie, when he first brought it, how big is that? He literally, because he's Mr. Engineer, made it the same footprint as the drum set. It is exactly the same.
Well, all the venues were like, that's not going to fit.
And it fits through every single door.
And they freak out. They're like, man, drum set's not, I don't know if that's going to work.
So-
It's like,
so
and I tell them, it's the same. It's same size
same footprint.
width as a 5-piece.
We put it on stage
matter.
in 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
It looks huge, but it's not as far as filling space.
It took a long time.
It's a shower, not a grower.
But to be able to get on and off the stage quickly is key. And I think it's helped us in terms of our networking and stuff like that, because we're professionals. Like we should.
Yeah.
And that is the hardest thing to get off stage is the drums. It is. I mean, you got, even if you have 4 guitar players, 3
Even if
guitar
you
players,
didn't have the riser, you still got to tear it down and tear.
Yeah.
Even if you were quick, you still got 15 to 20 pieces to get
When
off.
you're opening for
stage.
national bands, you got 15 minutes to get your shit
You only
on
Get
and
the
off.
fuck off.
Actually,
And they'll push you off if you're not on.
Music that has more parts than you is the PA.
They learn that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
When you play an instrument, it's a piece
let's
of
get through
furniture.
some of these questions so we can get some rehearsal in.
So you guys, you have the Emotions in Gear. You put that out, and you played Rock the Pantry. It was your first time back from like all this, lockdown stuff. How did it feel to be back on the stage?
Amazing.
We belong there.
Yeah, like great, man.
It wasn't long
fun.
enough.
Wasn't
It
long
was fun.
enough.
We were
We had
just
a good
getting
time.
warmed up.
That's the truth.
We had a good time. I mean, it's great. It's
I can tell you, I walked into that show with a certain amount of anxiety
yeah.
because, there's a lot about what's going on that no one knows, that we're all learning together. But as soon as there's a drumstick in my hand,
It's all
it's
forgotten.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's done for me my whole life.
Yeah.
That's why I still
As soon as there's a stick in Kenny's hand.
You took it out of my mouth. Is it other black sticks?
Oh, no.
How do you guys choose a set? Does it depend on time? How do you throw in the new stuff too?
Steven does a lot of it, but I mean, it's a group effort, and we try to figure out
I
what
just
bands.
contour it to
The venue.
If we're playing with a national band that's heavier, we play some of our heavier material. If we're playing with a national band that's softer, play softer material. If it's a 30-minute set, we play our heaters.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
And then
that's
it's all about even like in an hour set, it's all about ending on your strongest, like not even your strongest song, but just you want the energy to be built up. Like we got slower songs, you don't want to end on your slow song when you're opening up for a national actor. Like you want to start all, maybe we might want to soften it up in the middle. But
you want to make that national.
It's kind of like a movie, it climaxes, and you want it is kind of like I don't know how I.
You want to set the bar for the next band, have
Yeah,
to.
I mean you want your songs to flow into each other too.
And Steven probably because like all of us. Somehow Steven is like, all of us are like, I like this song. We all have our favorites, and Steven's just like, yeah, but like, forget what your favorites are. Let's do what the best set is. And he does have a very good like ear for structuring a set. Absolutely. So he writes the sets, and we all kind of
And we make adjustments. And
yeah, we
might
do.
run through like the one on the board downstairs. We
pull a song out or
should put this here or whatever.
Well, a story. I was trying to get in the smokestack, and they thought we were heavy. They're like, "Well, I don't know if you're gonna work out. I hear you guys are heavy, And I told the guys about it. They're like, "Okay, well, let's do our lighter songs." So we did our lighter songs at that show. We have heavier ones.
Well. Hopefully I can see you guys perform some heavy stuff. I mean, you guys killed it. Like, I mean, I like you incorporated some of the new material into the set as well, and I really dug it, like the whole thing.
Thank you. Yeah, we got some heavy stuff for.
I really dig that you dug it.
Yeah.
For real.
Damn, it's a lot of digging.
That is. All right.
Shovel.
This is my second to last question that I always ask my guests because I'm always curious. I'm actually really, really curious, man. You've busted out some very interesting references. But I'm going to start with Jamie.
Influences?
Yeah. Well, no.
Go on.
What music are you listening to right now?
Ooh.
I listen to everything, man. What did I listen to today?
Is that like the Who? Who are you listening to?
I don't know. I listen to everything. I'm at work all day. I have a Bluetooth speaker. And I'm listening to music all day. I checked out a new album today. I listened to Metallica today. I listened to the new Metallica album, the newest Metallica album.
Hardwired, yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Seether lately. Their last new album.
Poison
You were on a
Parish.
big Papa Roach kick a while ago, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just listened to
So
something
you do listen to everything.
that just came out today too by a band, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know. I listen to everything, dude.
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded. I've been listening to a lot of old STP too, like the old like sex type thing.
Yes.
From Core and
Most underrated bass player in the world.
oh yeah, man.
Hey, DeLeo?
I mean,
Yeah, he's a
I love that stuff. I've been listening to a lot of '90s rock lately, and I don't know. I listened to new Avatar today, Colossus. Have you heard that?
I have not
I
yet.
heard that today. I listened to that. Yeah. So I listen to everything.
Andy?
Lately, I actually don't listen to a lot of music, which is weird because most of my free time is spent with an instrument in my hand, working on like my own ideas, working on our stuff. But if I'm lately I've been just listening to a shit ton of Lamb of God. And also I have Fifth and Sick
Yes.
I have their album in my
Yeah, me-
truck. I listen
yep.
to it all the time. I got Fight Like Sin's album in my truck. I listen to them all the time. I listen to a lot of local bands, to be honest.
Yeah, I should say I do that too.
Yeah, I think we all probably
Actually, I
do.
did that today. I listened to Elysium today. I listened to a lot of the bands we opened for.
Yeah, so
I listened to Blame Shift today. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They just put out a new single, Blame Shift. Sorry, But yeah, I listen to a lot of regional bands. Another Lost Year.
Yep.
Listen to them.
Yep.
A lot of these bands are our friends, and we've opened for them. And I listen to their music too and support them. And I hope they're all doing well out there with this bullshit.
Yeah.
beyond that though, I listen to a lot of death metal. Or
Thank you
like
very much.
Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai,
Yes, Steve Vai,
Satriani,
yes.
those kind of guys. Yeah.
Says the man who
what,
can
what,
play
like,
rock
what,
Here's my answer, and this is coming from a drummer that plays a great big drum set with skulls on my twin kick drums. But I've been listening to a lot of
Panty Raid
Brothers lately, which
Really?
are I don't know how you describe them. I would call them like some kind of Americana / country / bluegrass, and it's probably my background in choir and being a harmony singer, and they sing so well together, and their lyrics are so meaningful to me, and they're just musically wonderful. I mean, like Jamie said, I don't
I do too.
subscribe to one genre. If it's good, it's good. You know? And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for real. I mean, I was listening to Dr. Dre, Chronic 2001,
Yes.
like 2
Oh,
weeks ago.
100%. I know every word on that album.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and interestingly enough, I think Eminem does with his voice what drummers like Chris Adler and Mike Portnoy do with their arms and legs.
Yeah.
With the syllables and this.
Right,
and
how
the-
the
He is
words
probably
are.
the top 5
It's insane.
lyricist ever.
Yeah.
So,
Not even so much
well,
in new
there-
shit, but
You need another
Definitely
45
stuff.
minutes for a rap discussion.
Yeah.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah, we're big hip hop.
yeah, I was just getting ready to say
Yeah.
I've been listening to everything from T.I. to Tool, so
Yeah.
and it's pretty much however I feel. These guys are more about albums and stuff. I just listen to whatever's.
If like Snoop Dogg or Ludacris or anybody like that ever comes to town, I want to open for them.
Oh, when you hear that, what is that
do
song?
that?
The Move, bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, and that comes on the radio. You can't,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
And today I was listening to, it was a great combination. I had Pantera in the morning, and then I was listening to No Doubt. After.
No Doubt's a great band.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
The
see,
three
there's one
musicians in that
spectrum.
band are unbelievable.
I feel like No
Yeah.
Doubt would be more of a morning, like, get you going, and Pantera after the workday, you're like, fuck this.
Well, I gotta get hyped for
Right on,
before
yeah.
the work day, and then I was coming down and like
Gotcha.
right before I left. I was
Hey,
listening.
right
Yeah.
on, right on.
All right, and thank you guys for hanging out with me, for inviting me to your practice. And I got one final thing before we go. I know I kind of got Jamie's perspective on this last time we talked, but I know you got some good shows coming up. What can we expect for the rest of 2020 since it's over halfway over now?
I plan shows
As much as we can play.
when they don't get, if you want to come see us, playing shows that aren't canceled, or there's, it's literally day
We
to
just had
day.
like a handful.
Yeah.
of canceled
The
in
one
past
thing
2
that is
weeks.
not day to day though is that we are continuing to write.
And practice.
We are putting
Yep.
material together to record. Yeah, that's I think what we got going on, right, fellas? Like,
Honestly, if we weren't doing that,
yeah.
I don't know if how much more stressful the current world situation would be.
But you don't get to come over.
Well, yeah, because
flip
like
your
for me,
drums up,
not
yeah.
playing
Yeah.
music is like not getting laid, man. It's at a certain point, it's like you got to do it. It's got to get done.
Yeah, they're like really two things that I'm away from that I start to get really irritated. One is my girlfriend and my family, and the other is my guitar. Like those are the two things that I don't think I can live without. Shout out.
Hashtag wives.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Such a fun time. We talked about a lot of great stuff.
You got through all your questions.
Yes. That's always good. Throw that format out now. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully, I know it's in October, but I know it's going to, still a little bit away. But you guys are going to be part of the Lonely Ones concert coming up October 15th.
Correct.
At the Smokestack Brew. I'm really looking forward to that. Because, Lonely Ones, you guys, I think there's some other bands I'm missing, but they're going to be there too.
Yep.
We should have some new songs by then.
And new music. Oh.
Yes.
At least a couple.
Cool.
Yeah,
Support local music, man.
That's
Awesome.
right, for sure.
Jockstrap.
absolutely. We're looking forward to playing that show and seeing you there.
I'm really looking forward to being there and having my face rocked off. So, all right. Well, thank you for Jerry Bostel, Andy, Kenny, and Steven. I'm Matthew Thomas, and I will see you next time.